The one thing I noticed in like my test runs of this game earlier tonight is that the loading time is much slower, but the game looks so much better. Obviously the audio sounds a lot nicer too. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. You can already tell there's just like no frame rate issues at all. But the loading time here is so slow. The other good thing about this game is how nice the menus work. I mean, when they load. But all of these drivers here are in sequential order already on their skill level. You just kind of have to pick them in order as you go. Unlike NES, where they're a little bit shuffled. And even then, you don't necessarily pick all the hardest people at the beginning because they're so far away on the menu that it's just a little bit easier at times to pick suboptimal opponents. So you end up with the worst 3 at the end, but give yourself the shortest amount of routing. Ooh, that's bad. Forgot about the easiest part of the track. The other thing is, the later the game goes, sometimes you want one of the faster drivers to still be around. If you're trying to take an intentional second place, it can be a reasonable time save, and a little bit easier to get second as well when one of the drivers is much better than the others. That'll be something worth exploring later if I want to leave one of these good drivers in it until the end. These loading times are so tedious, though, compared to NES. Genesis is much faster than this, even. Luckily, all the tracks and maps stay the same. In fact, all the maps I have been looking at were from SNES and Genesis. So some of the small, like, color palette changes and whatnot, and liberties they took on the NES version wouldn't match with my map. But they all match up perfectly now, pretty seamlessly. If you just Google Micro Machines maps, I'm gonna forget his name, but it isn't the VG Maps website. It is a website, it's just a white page with links to all the maps individually. And they're fantastic, and they're cropped super small and tiled on the monitor above me, in case I forget some of the layouts. Which I'm apt to do. Ooh, that's rough. The other thing about this game that plays different is the threshold in which you need to hit the cars to actually explode like that is much higher. I know it doesn't seem like that considering we've seen 2 explosions already, but that is actually true. So I'm not taking the super wide safe strat into turn 1. Also, the spawn time's much faster, so even if you do have something like that happen, it's not nearly as punishing. Ooh, I took a turn a little early. I forgot about the last oil slick. I think that's the sound that, like, someone got respawned because they blew up. The Genesis version, it sounds more like an explosion. Yay, more slow menus. The old rough trucks. Seem to drive a little quicker in this. Not quite sure on the hitbox situation compared to the NES brutal ones. Guess we'll see up here. Still seems pretty rough. Let's go, come on now. Good to see the same strats work, too. There's no way I was getting second on that without losing a ton of time. I kind of like getting back on the track there. Well, it didn't work out that well. Just because it helps me get a better racing line approach to the box of cereal. I know I'm probably losing a tenth or two here or there, but it just seems like an easier line to take. That's a lot harder on Super Nintendo than it is on regular Nintendo. That line there. Just that gradual line, full throttle all the way around to the toppies. Just feels like it's a better approach. Ooh, I forgot it. Doing. Bouncing on the actual cereal seems much more punishing on this, too. From a handling perspective. Like you really just can't steer off of it so well. Best cars. Feels so much better without, like, any lag there whatsoever. No frame rate drops at all. A cool sound effect. So far, so good. I think it's a little bit off-putting. The RPMs, like, while I slow down the car, don't really seem to change. Maybe that's just because I'm letting go of the gas and not actually pressing a different button for the brake. But I'm definitely lifting a lot coming up to the down ramp onto the playing card. And that's not really getting reflected at all in the sound. Seems quick. Dang, she got them angry eyebrows. I love cartoon character angry eyebrows. Best one, like Hall of Fame cartoon character angry eyebrows. Let's see. Let's do a Mount Rushmore of angry eyebrows, all right? Because I don't think we can see her. Like my number one, but probably because I didn't think about it enough. Lois Griffin. Lois Griffin's got some great angry eyebrows. Peter's saying her doing something stupid. Who else would be in that department? I mean, Marge Simpson, probably. Oh, Maggie Simpson probably has the best of the Simpsons, anyway. Oh, you know who's got some good ones? Daria Morgendorffer. Great angry eyebrows. So yeah, the Mount Rushmore cartoon characters with angry eyebrows. It's gonna be like Maggie Simpson, Daria Morgendorffer, Lois Griffin, and character to be determined. I didn't mean to make it all female, it just seems to be going that way. Maybe because that's what's been marketed as funny, is males doing something stupid. make a female character angry. I specifically remember really good, like, Donald Duck faces in anger. But I don't know how often... Like, the eyebrows don't stand out to me in that. It might be other features that really signify how angry he is. I have to go back and look at that. But that might be one of the first ones. Other than that, maybe Daffy Duck. Real hot on that Arial font for the 1, 2, 3, 4 rankings there. Pretty basic. Maybe that was cutting edge in 1994 or whatever this game came out. Maybe I should be not giving him a hard time for that. Man, look at that. No lag. All these bubbles behind us. And boats just do what you expect them to do when you say to do it. That's what I was talking about during my last run today. When you bounce into the side of the bubbles in these newer versions, you don't really kind of get bogged down. You get kind of like sprung out of there, and sometimes it's not in the direction you want it to, but even if it's not perfectly in the direction you want it to, it's usually with enough momentum that you can kind of ride it and not really lose a lot of time. The NES version really bogs you down a whole lot, especially when you're like in the actual path of the track, and then it's just like an entire like thing like that, like a path full of bubbles in front of you, where it really slows you down. That one here slowed me down a little bit, but not nearly as much as NES would have punished me. But yeah, look at that, how I bounced off the side there, and it kind of gave me a little bit of a shot forward. Now, I haven't crunched the numbers to see if that's actually better than just going straight in the first place, but I'm hoping that it isn't that good. I don't want the strat on this track to be like Mario Kart snaking all over the place and drifting. Alright, we'd love a second place in this next track if it's doable. Does not appear like it's going to happen. Ooh, I was lucky. That second rock that I ran over there did not shoot me up in the air, and had it done that, it would have knocked me way out of the racing line. I would have had to slow down a bunch to kind of gather the truck here. We got rather lucky with that. Who's out? Get out of my tournament. Faster to go this way now? I think it might be faster to go left now. Yup. It is. It's Rough Trucks time! Trucks 3. Still lame. Still sucks. boxes are terrible. As long as we can agree to that. That they're unpredictable and terrible. My God. What am I doing? That was a really bad approach. I don't know if it deserved to be this bad and punished, but the game thinks that's the right cause of action there. Oof, that was rough. Snuck on by. The sound is much less pronounced in this one, too. Compared to NES. You guys can hear that little buzzing, but it's not... It's quieter than the engine, which is nice. It's not quieter than the engine in NES. Yeah, they weren't close behind me. I need them to start finishing a little bit closer to me. So I can start dropping off second places where I can. Oh, I didn't plug in the right retro spy. That sucks. Sorry you guys aren't getting the gaming inputs here. That is such a easy spot to go off if you're not paying attention. You're just like, oh, I'm going to drive around the orange juice now, and before you know it, you're off the table. Oh my god, I could hear my RPMs drop a second there. At some point here, we might stop talking about this as being a championship % run, and actually being an any % run, or sorry, 100% run. If I'm able to win every single race and complete every single rough trucks. I mean, theoretically speaking, if no one has actually submitted a run of this game, I could pick whatever category I damn well choose. And that's just what people measure it by. Now, I'd rather it be consistent with what, you know, the game standard has been across the other platforms, but I kind of have a problem with it, to be honest, because as dictated and discovered, or, you know, as seen on my run for NES, it does not reward necessarily playing the game the best and the fastest. There's a little bit of a knowledge of the rules and understanding how the Rough Trucks events spawn and end up being created, where you basically complete them after you win 3 races. Not necessarily every 3 races, just after 3 wins, whenever those things occur. So, you know, the wise player is going to be like, alright, well, I'm going to try and minimize my time on Rough Trucks while also still being fast. And that results in a rewarding system for finishing second place a lot of the time. Not necessarily going as fast as possible. Now, I don't really like that. But then again, the other option is, alright, well, I'm supposed to be able to beat the game as fast as humanly possible. And I don't have to finish first place to beat every level. So, are you going to punish me and I should reset right away, even though my game isn't over? I should reset because I lost the race and got second place? You know, I can see it both. I can see both sides of that. There are plenty of games where not going as fast as possible has its benefits in the overall time. And what most games will do in that case... let's think of the most popular one, Sonic the Hedgehog. They resort instead to using the in-game timer. Now, do I think this game has any kind of feasibility? No, like, this game doesn't even have an in-game timer. Like, you wouldn't be able to calculate that anyway. So then, what are your options? Well, your options are, you could have a championship, like any percent run, where you're motivating people to kind of finish second as many times as possible. Or, you could have a 100% category, and as soon as you don't win a race, you reset. Now, the one thing I'm also curious about, probably not substantial enough to matter, though. Actually, now that I think about it. But I'm thinking the losing, or the not getting an extra life in the rough trucks animation and such happens faster than the gaining a life animation does. So I'm wondering if you're motivated to not do that, but I don't think the amount of time that's left that you would have to try and have expire off a clock is far greater than the amount of time that you could save just by finishing it. Sorry, is far greater than the amount of time that you would save in that animation process. Like, if I finish this rough trucks with 10 seconds left, theoretically speaking, if I wanted to intentionally not finish the rough truck, well, at this rate it might not be intentional. Come on! Jesus. And then I'm able to drive over that one for some reason. These guys sure were code masters. But, let's make sure we finish this first. Like, if it's going to be close... Like, see, I finished at 10.6 left. But if it's going to be close, does it behoove me to not sit here and go through this animation process of getting the extra life added? I think that takes longer. Man, these things are slow. Ooh, I'm so close to shooting me. They are so much easier to dodge, though, in this one. Still turn like garbage, but that's the point. That is by design. That is a feature, not a bug. I didn't know this game was 4-player, actually. I'm kind of interested in seeing how hard that is to implement and what that looks like. I've played the game 2-player many times. I know what to expect in that regard. They fell off. My guess is that it was red. Gotta be careful there, because it's so much closer to the rail. Right. Doing the books, they're both clean. Oh, come on. I didn't think we were that far over the line, but good to know. That's where it counts it. Alright, third lap wasn't perfect, but it's fine. That means I could have snuck a second out of that. Where the tracks really start getting tough. That ink there is really brutal. Contrary to what the audio is saying, I am definitely not flooring it. I'm doing a ton of lifting. Forgot to put the retro spy on SNES. I feel like such a dummy, because definitely don't want to reset the run at this point. Ooh. Not intentional there, obviously. Just missed the eraser. Maybe battling. Oh no, never want to hit that ruler. Good. Didn't go flying off the table. We're gonna get another rough trucks, aren't we? Doesn't matter which one we get. No. Really? Oh, we kept our center down there. Hit boxes. You made it! Extra life! This track's kind of brutal. All those pieces there are so much less punishing in this version than NES. NES, they put that bump like right there in the actual entrance of the turn. So if you just hit it at high enough speed without lifting, you miss the turn entirely and go right into the puddle. This one right there. Like if you're just cruising along, like that's a little bit more what I was expecting, because that happens in NES all the time. Oh, I like how just Blue's ahead of me. I think that's what I'll do, is keep him there. I'll just protect Blue. Don't fall in any puddles or do anything stupid and waste my time. Come on, Blue. Go. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was... Oh my god, I'm so sorry. You know what? We're done, Blue. You can't get under control. Like just before the primary election, as the vice president vice presidential candidate, I changed the other side. You know what? No, I actually think this candidate's better. I think I'm gonna support Green. Oh, I probably shouldn't be in his way. I'm gonna support whoever comes out of this. Okay, it looks like Green's ahead. Blue got thirsty. You might be saying, PJ, why would you do this? You're costing yourself time. You could have finished that probably 10 seconds sooner. And that's right. You're absolutely right. I don't disagree with you. However, if that 1 second place there is now going to save me from having to do one of these stupid rough trucks events, then I really saved like 50 seconds. By wasting 10, I saved 60. So, that's what we're doing there. We're just doing some math. Crunch the numbers. Now, will I do it another time? Well, I need to, theoretically, right, so, if there's 24 races in the championship, well, before the championship race anyway, that means that there are 8 opportunities to have that dumb rough trucks thing. If you win every single race, you'll have to do it 8 times. So, what I'd rather do is get second place once and only do it 7 times. Or get second place 4 times, so I only have to do rough truck 6 times. Any of those are fine. Getting second place 2 and 3 times doesn't really do me much. So, if I had the chance to get second place a second, third, and 4th time, I'm all on it. I'm about it. Sounds great. Sign me up. Forward me the paperwork. It will be signed, sealed, and delivered. This is looking like a great candidate for another second place race. Come on, Blue. You were doing so well. What are we doing here, buddy? Oh my gosh. They're all over here. And now I'm in 4th. All that hard work I put in. Just thrown away. You were clearly not going to win the race, Red, so I'm not going to support you. Blue, if I come up here and you're just driving into the trees, just chilling, we're gonna have words. I don't even know who's in blue. Is that Anne? Is it Walter? Is it Chen? Who can say? I'm sure someone who's paying attention could say. That's fine. Another second place. Sounds great. So that's 2 second places we've got. Need to do that 2 more times for maximum benefit. Thanks, Anne. Dang, Chen looks mad. Like, real mad. Like, big mad, not little mad. This does not look like a second place candidate track. Oops, what am I doing? Why am I not driving on lines? There's no narrows until the backstretch and the last straightaway before the finish line. Oh my god, I'm stuck on the fuse. I don't think I've ever seen color-coded fuses before. It's weird, in the NES version, they're definitely fuses. Like, they're meant to look like clear metallic with the metal on the edges and like kind of a clear thing in the middle. And that's more of a thing you'd find in a garage. But in here, they just look like... I don't know what they look like. Connects with little things, caps on the end of them? They look like just colored rods. I've never seen, like, color-coded fuses based on, like, whatever their handling load is or anything. That seems like a bad thing to have anyway, considering you want it to be... You want it to be transparent so you can see if it's blown or not. Oh man, that was dumb. Oof. Never punished, right? We got punished. went to Dwayne's eyes. Get that checked out. Mike's gotten his eyes checked. Look how great he is. He even wore a sweatshirt that doesn't match the car he's driving. Look how good his eyes are. This does not look like it's going to be a second place race. I thought maybe if I, like, created a situation where I was shooting at the same people over and over again, one of them could get away, and then they all decided I'm just going to drive into this wall over here. So I decided I'm going to take the win. Made the executive decision. I know it goes without saying, but man, is the SNES version so much nicer than the NES version. I wish it were a little bit harder, to be honest. Let's go, my guy. Man. Easy peasy. This is the same track as the one at the very end of the game. But we don't have to win this time. Also seems like the sides of the rulers are a lot more forgiving in this than the NES version. Not smart. Look how cautious they're being. What I tried to do. Eight wheels turns better than 4. Oof. You figure out the same thing. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I cut that way too short. That still led the lap. Do I want 2 more second places between now and the end? I got 1 more bathtub, 1 more tank, 1 more helicopter. I don't think I need it on this track, is what I'm just trying to figure out if this is a must-finish second. I hope it's not. These cars can be incredibly tough to control. And trying to get greedy or something like that just would be an absolute heartbreaker. almost didn't make that binder jump. I was like letting off the gas. I thought the turn was coming. I was treating it like pencil plateaus instead of crayon canyons. Got my tracks mixed up there. They look very, very, very similar, to be fair. Wow. But yeah, see, look, there was no way I was getting second place there. If I slowed down a little bit, I was falling all the way to third. They were too close together. Wow, I can't believe that worked that well. Take back everything I said. Alright, this is a great candidate for a second place finish. Maybe not. Maybe they all drive like idiots. Sounds awful. How long do I have to wait when I come out of that? Where are they? Come on. I'm protecting green. Wow, it's gonna get tough. Alright, I'm protecting blue. Oh no. We get back to them. They drive like they were before, it shouldn't be that hard. What is all that chatter? They're not even up there against each other right now, are they? Cool. We did it. We got a second out of that. We probably get a second out of the next one, too. Damn, he looks angry. Those are some seriously angry eyebrows. gosh. Oh. One thing the Micro Machines maps got wrong was that after the sprinklers up here, there's a fan in the NES version when you're headed down. It's not here in the SNES version. Interesting. Another subtle difference. Yo, come on, Red. I'm rooting for you. There's also not a sprinkler there, like there is in the NES version. The NES version has a lot more obstacles in this particular level. And if I get myself a second place here, then I guarantee that I will have no more rough trucks the rest of the way. And I can go all out in the last couple of races. Which is what we all really want to see anyway, right? And let's be real. Go faster. Catching up to us here. Come on, Red. Oh my god. Just one of you passed me, not two of you. Certainly not three of you. I don't want it to be you. Nice. You guys stop being idiots. What a waste of time that was. I hate both of you, Mike and Walter. That got my heart rate above 80. That's how angry I was. So angry that I made the felt on my pool table red. It was a permanent fixture that I wanted to look at in my house, and I wanted it to be bright red. Which one of you is which? Mike's in red and blue, right? You're supposed to be faster than Walter. Or no, that's Dwayne in green. Mike in blue is supposed to be faster. Good. He has proven his worth. I'm gonna make green's life miserable here already. Thank you for that. You should be way ahead by now, Blue. Alright. I've annoyed them enough. Come on, Blue. How am I beating you in there? Go. Let's go, Mike. Guess what day it is, Mike. Mike. My bad. That's me. That's on me. That's a cross I will bear forever. He's hitting you right there at the entry of turn 17. What was I thinking? Something very satisfying about that. Go, Dwayne! It's your turn to dance. Free Dwayne. Salty bet. Still living. Yo, what are you doing, Mike? How are you that far? How are you that close to us, man? Oh, whoops. Oh, whoops. I think these cars drive like they're on rails. And it's like if I wanted to do anything, I just tell the car to do it, and it does it. I guess I can floor it now, because I think Mike's comfortably ahead. But I should try to finish second as fast as possible. Ooh, no more rough trucks. Did it. Right. So now we can be safe and just go for a win here on this next one and not worry about... Tanks are the hardest to try and sandbag, in my opinion. Because you don't know which tank is actually going to be out ahead, and if it's Walter or Dwayne, then Blue's going to catch up to you, so you don't want that to happen. Oh my god, did we just sneak through that? That is so nice. How do we manage the Legos? Pretty decently. Part of the trick. Oh my god, they're right up on me. I realized they were that close to me. I thought I was doing a really aggressive corner cutting and routing, but... The rubber band stretcheth, so there's the rubber band giveth, cometh back. Wow. I didn't think that was that egregious, if that warranted that, but... Codemasters knows. Alright, here we go. Win this race to be champion. This run has been far more forgiving than any of my NES runs. And it's the first SNES attempt. Nor that whatever number it is in the upper corner, because all I did was clear out my NES splits and didn't even reset that number. Like a dummy. So. I'm sure I'll get to the Genesis version at some point. Maybe the PC version as well. Really, I need to find myself some more top-down racing games. Appear to be my bread and butter right now. Playing really well with them. I'm sure someone will come along at one point in time that's better at this entire genre than I am. And I'll be upset when they, not when they beat my record. I'll be happy they beat my record. I'll be happy that someone found a way to optimize some of these games further. But what will make me upset is if, like, they find some not-so-obscure game and get a time on it where they beat a bunch of people, and it was like, I could have easily had that world record had I known that game existed. Just because it's that style of game that I thrive at, so I gotta do some more digging and find some new things to try. Because between both versions of Micro Machines I've played, Super Off-Road, Super Sprint, Funhouse, a lot of these games have very, very, very similar mechanics. Not even punished for that, it's nice. That's how far ahead we are. That doesn't sound like we're that far ahead anymore. It sounds like they're right behind us. But yeah, I don't want to leave any games on the table. That's basically it. I don't want to, like, miss my opportunity to play a lot of games that... Oh, perfect. Could not have gone better. That fit this style. And that just... I could easily see myself playing a lot and having world records in, too. That would make me more sad. That I... And to be honest, these are the most fun. Even if it's not world recordable, like if it's a game that I never played as a kid and didn't know existed, and even as an adult didn't get to try it and play it, so. Here we go. That's it right there, 108, 39, 63. We skipped out on 2 rough trucks. That extra, like, 10 minutes in time, essentially, is just in loading. I can believe it. Alright, so that's a default world record for that, but just compared to NES, that one, the gameplay is so much smoother, but the loading time is so brutal.